So, how much programming knowledge do you need to acquire before you can make an actual functional program? Well, it kind of has a complicated answer. It depends on what language you're learning, how fast you're learning, etc. So I'll use myself as an example for this video. I have been a CIST student for the past 2 months, which means I'm learning about all things computers, including programming. I have not been taught one specific language. I'm learning the design and logic of programming, which means I only know pseudocode, which is not very helpful for making an actual program, but you'll see I do have a method. You'll see a lot of videos that are asking how much you need to know to get an entry-level programmer position. This is not one of those videos. I would know. I'm very unemployed. So the first thing we need to do to test the limits of my limited programming knowledge is obviously to have an idea to program. So what I did was I asked some of my friends and family if they had any ideas for my program. After some interesting answers, one of my friends told me to make a program that calls you a noun from the sentence you just told it. I said that would be a little bit complicated because of picking out nouns, so we corrected it from nouns to any word from the sentence, and I said yes, I can do that. So to actually make this program, we're going to be using another program called Flowgorithm. This is something that my programming teacher has told us to use to make a lot of our programs, and if you know anything about programming, you know that people use flowcharts to organize what their program is going to end up looking like. This is just a program that allows you to make flowcharts and then allows you to actually run a program using the flowchart you've just made. It even turns it into source code. So we're going to be using this to create our program because I do not actually know any programming languages. I know how to use Flowgorithm. That is what 2 months of programming has taught me. So to actually create this program, it will be somewhat user unfriendly. Not on purpose, just because that is the capacity of my programming knowledge and of Flowgorithm itself. So first we're going to make an array. This is going to hold each word in the sentence that the user gives us as a separate value. So we're going to call the array sentence, and the array size. Oh shoot, okay, we're gonna have to make the array size the number of words that the user inputs. How are we going to do that? I do not know. This is gonna be super complicated. We're gonna make the array size a variable we're gonna call word count. And this is gonna be really hard because we need to know what the word count is before actually making the array. We won't know the word count until the user inputs everything into the array. We're gonna have to make this like extremely convoluted just for something really simple. So for now, what we're gonna do is we're going to make the word count 25, because I can't imagine anyone would think of a sentence more than 25 words. Word count equals 25. Therefore, the size of the array is 25. It can hold 25 words. Great. We need to have the program ask the user for a sentence that makes sense. We can't just be like, okay, please give me noun. Like, that's not gonna work. We need to make it seem somewhat conversational. So, how about we do this? Please tell me a random fact about yourself. Also, this is where it gets kind of user unfriendly, is unfortunately the only way we're gonna be able to count each individual word as its own value in the array is if the user enters a separate word each time, which is extremely monotonous. So the most user-friendly way we can make this is if we just tell the user to use the enter button instead of the space button. Space bar. Not space button. Now we're gonna add a loop that inputs each word the user has put into a separate variable so that it can assess each word by itself. So we're going to create a while loop, but before that we need to tell the user when their sentence is over, because otherwise the loop would go 25 times, assuming that the person has put in 25 words, but that's not always going to be the case. So we're going to tell the user to input something that they would never write in the sentence that would end it. Let's go with the number 1, because I can't see someone using a number in this sentence. Do you see what I mean by this is incredibly not user-friendly? Yes. But this is about as user-friendly as we can make it. So this means that this loop will only happen when number 1 is not being entered. So while this is happening, we're going to have the user input their sentence. The next thing we're going to do is to resize the size of the array to the number of actual words in the sentence. So this hopefully will make it so that it will go through detecting whether individual words can be converted to a number. If they can't, then I'm hoping that I'll be able to make it so that they're erased from the array. That way that any number I don't even know what I'm saying. Oh shoot, how are we gonna do this? I don't know if I can I don't know if I can do this. Basically what we're gonna have it do, instead of redefining how many words are in there, we're just gonna have the program ignore anything that's not a word. That is far less complicated, and I think I actually know how to do that. So what we're gonna do now is create a loop. Let me delete this because this doesn't make any sense. We're gonna make a loop that goes through each word and randomly picks one. And declare a variable, and we're gonna call it random index. You'll see what this does in a second. What I'm trying to have the program do is pick a random number. That number will link to one of the elements in the array, and if that element is a word, it's going to pick that word and then use it in the sentence that it outputs. That is kind of complicated, and I'm a little bit stuck. And indeed, stuck I would be for the next long while. This is the first time I've not gotten an error, so let's test this out. Let's give it a sentence. Please tell me a random fact about yourself. Please use enter key in place of spacebar. Please end your sentence with 1 and not include any punctuation. Okay, I could rewrite those sentences to be less redundant, but for now, let's just test it out. Here we go. Oh, well, that's awkward. After a lot of debugging, and I mean like a lot, I spent more time debugging than I did actually writing the program initially. Let's test it again. Okay, I like to draw with Copic markers. 1. Okay, so it still doesn't work. Okay, let's try it again. I like to draw with Copic markers. 1. Oh my gosh. Okay, well it almost worked. All I have to do is add a space to this, which I don't know why I didn't do. Let's add another output just to be stupid. Let's try this one more time. Maybe with a different sentence, okay? I like to eat fried pickles at night. 1 and 0. Wait, what did I do? This is the longest amount of time I spent debugging. I don't know how many tests I've done at this point, but we're going again. Okay, I enjoy painting. 1. Okay, let's make sure. I'm gonna type one thing, and if it's not that one thing, it's still not working. Okay, W1. What? What is it this time? Where is this happening? I understand now. This needs to be 25. I got it. That off by 1 error. Ooh, love those. Okay. Now we're gonna try this again. W1. You are W. Let's go again, cause it could have just been really lucky. Okay. W1. Okay. Finally. Finally. I got it to work. Oh goodness, this much code for like the simplest thing. What the heck? I've been recording for an hour. It took me an hour to make a program say you are blank, lol, got him, GG, easy, get bamboozled. What I've done now is copy the source code from the C# language, which conveniently Flowgorithm creates. Now it's not perfect, and I had to make a few edits in the actual source code to get it to work. For example, it didn't capitalize Boolean and it missed a semicolon here or there. I just fixed that real quick and pasted it into Visual Studio, and now I'm running it from the console, so we're gonna see if it works in a real app. Alright, so please tell me a random fact about yourself. Please use enter. I just remembered that I did not actually make these sentences more user-friendly, so let me fix that. Okay, let's try it again. Hey, tell me a random fact about yourself. Use enter key in place of spacebar. Please end your sentence with 1 and do not include any punctuation. I really like to skip around in the park on Sundays. You are 2? LOL, got him, GG, easy, get bamboozled. And there you go. That is the program. That took me an hour and a half, maybe. I paused the recording here or there to look up on Google how to do certain things, both in Flowgorithm and in coding in general. But with my 2 months of coding and not even knowing an actual language, I was still able to produce a working program. So yeah, I'd say that was a success. So in the end, we did create a fully functional program. Was it user-friendly? No. Did it have any kind of user interface, or was it aesthetically pleasing at all? No. Was it even useful? No. But that doesn't matter, because with 2 months of very extremely basic programming knowledge, I was able to create a functional program. So what is the answer to the question, how much programming do you need to know before you can make a program? Clearly very little. Will I be able to make a video game anytime soon? God no, but that's not the question we asked. We asked if we could make a functional program, and we did. Thank you so much for watching. I've included a link to Flowgorithm in the description if you'd like to try it out yourself. This video is not sponsored, it's just literally the only thing I know how to code with. Okay, bye.